Well, hello everyone. A very warm welcome to the Supreme Ultimate Tai Chi webinar. My name's Sue O'Kell and I am delighted to be here today with Stephen Russell, the Barefoot Doctor, who I'll be introducing you to in just a short moment. Just to let you know what we're going through today, it's all about Tai Chi, why it is called the Supreme Ultimate, what the benefits are, and the easiest and fastest way to master the moves, follow the form, and experience that all-important Chi. Now, we've had a whole host of questions that have been sent in, so on your behalf I will be asking quite a lot of those questions to Doc, but do feel free to pop your own questions into the question box as we go along, and hopefully I'll be able to pick those up and ask them to Stephen. We may not be able to answer particularly detailed questions on specific medical conditions, but we will do our very best to answer as many questions as we can. Now, we were talking today about Tai Chi, the short form, the Yang style short form, and Doc will explain a little bit more about that. But first of all, let's say hello to Stephen. Hi, Stephen.
Oh, hello. Shit, I didn't realise this one was about Tai Chi. I thought this one was about Taoist tango dancing. So I don't know that I'm really prepared, but I'll do my best.
Well, that must be you doing Taoist tango dancing on the screen as we speak, which I think was a Guinness World Record attempt for the largest number of people doing Tai Chi. Now, Stephen has actually given me permission to interrupt him tonight, so forgive me if I appear to be being rude, but I will be doing this to ensure that we get all your questions asked and answered. But first of all, let me just tell you a little bit about why he is so absolutely qualified to answer any of those questions, and that is because, as well as being a doctor of Chinese medicine, you probably know him for that, and all his internal martial arts training, that all comes from him being a martial arts master. He began training in martial arts actually with Aikido when he was just 11, and has subsequently gone on to learn Tai Chi, Xing Yi and Pa Qua, and I'm sure he'll tell you whether I've pronounced those correctly and indeed what the differences are. He studied in Hong Kong with William the Beauteous Master, and he still practices daily, absolutely every day of the year, loving it, and has been teaching for almost 40 years. So let's jump straight in, if we may, Stephen, and can I just ask you about your own experience of Tai Chi, because I know you started with Aikido in the first place, so what led you to Tai Chi?
I was in Regent's Park in London. I was about 18, and there were these two guys with ponytails, so I knew they were American, because in those days the Americans were the only guys that wore ponytails, hippies, and they were doing Tai Chi in unison, about 50 feet away from each other, just perfectly harmonised, and I just sat transfixed because I recognised it, and yet I'd never ever seen it in my life anywhere in the whole universe. But I knew it was like a past life recognition. It was like, oh, I know that stuff, I know that stuff, I know that, I've got to learn that, I've got to learn that. And I waited and waited for them to finish, but they didn't. They just kept doing it and doing it. So I went off to see my friend Johnny, who was the friend of Ronnie Lang. I said, what's that thing they do where they wave their arms in the air really slowly? That thing, you know, that thing? And he goes, that's Tai Chi. And bit by bit I got led to, first Dr. Chi was my first, the Grandmaster. And it went on there. I studied with some of the world's greatest Chinese Tai Chi masters, and I've learned many amazing tricks, but I've all the time stuck with my original teacher, which was John Kells, who's now a really old man, who I speak to on the phone every day, because we do it internally really now. The considerations are all about what goes on inside. It's fascinating stuff. But it is a martial art, you know that, don't you? Because I mean, when I'm talking with him, we're talking about defensive and pugilistic strategies as they relate to everyday life and so on and so forth. So it is rather fascinating, the whole practice. Over to you.
Am I right in thinking it's actually somehow related to boxing, which seems a bit odd?
You are. Well, no, Tai Chi is boxing. I mean, it's Tai Chi Chuan, which is the full name, means the Supreme Ultimate Fist. And it's hard to believe, because what people know of Tai Chi is generally elderly people, such as myself, dancing on their own very slowly in parks. And, you know, that as a form of self-defense would work brilliantly if the opponent was coming at you very slowly and gently. But actually what that is very slow motion shadow boxing, where you're appreciating and imbibing the patterning inherent, excuse me, a bit of a cough, in each, what you call it, posture, and all these self-defense applications. Then when you practice it as a boxing form, you learn what they call Tai Chi combat. It's full-on boxing, but it's brilliant boxing. It's very, very clever. Internal boxing, it's called, because the deal is that you get right inside the other person's defences, so that you're standing about 3 inches away from them, and then you learn how to deliver punches, kicks, kneeings, elbowing, shoulderings, and whatever else you need to do from very, very close quarters with full body weight and power behind it. And you become quite unstoppable, providing you're willing to get through the initial kind of flurry of long-distance kicks and punches that most people would be given to. That's the general gist of it.
So that sounds all extremely martial, but I understand that Tai Chi is also meditation in motion. Would you agree with that phrase?
Well, more importantly than anything, it is that, because the whole point about, if I just stick with the boxing metaphor for a moment, to win in that kind of intense situation is not done by superior strength or speed. It's done by tuning into the great spirit, the Tao, that's informing the whole situation and rolling with the energy that presents itself, like an interpreter rather than a forger of the way. And that leads to overcoming the opponent miraculously. And to be able to do that, you have to be in a totally meditative state. So if you can maintain that meditative state, practicing your Tai Chi, doing the two-person stuff and all the rest, you'll definitely be able to maintain it while engaging and transacting with the world at large on an everyday basis. So it's basically just a training to be in the enlightened transcendent state all day long, every day, every night, no matter what you're doing or not doing, so that everything becomes a beautiful Tai Chi dance.
So why is it called the Supreme Ultimate?
Because Tai Chi means supreme ultimate. That's what the words translate as. And the Supreme Ultimate is the immanent aspects of the Tao. It's like as high as you can go spiritually, or deep as you can go spiritually, so to speak, and still get an understanding or a sensation of the primal cause of the universe. So, you know, the actual Tao itself is unknowable because it's at the subatomic level. But the manifest realm of the Tao and the power that's informing it, that's the Supreme Ultimate. And the Tai Chi takes you physically or psychophysically into that state. You don't have to use your intellect or abstract it or make concepts out of it. You feel it in your body. It's like taking a drug that introduces you to God, if you like, to put in another terminology. But there's no drug involved here. Or if it is, it's an internally generated one through the moves, the Qi moving through.
Now, you mentioned that word Tao, and there may be people on the call or listening to the recording who are not quite sure what you mean by the Tao, but know that it's related to Taoism. So how come that links to Tai Chi?
Well, Tai Chi is one of the 3 more well-known Taoist boxing forms, Taoist internal martial arts. It embodies the principles of Taoism. The Tao is something that it refers to the primordial consciousness and motion of existence. It's like the great mother of all existence and non-existence. It's the prime cause of everything. We can't really say much more about it than that. Taoism is an ancient system of managing yourself from the inside out, managing your life from the inside out, that happened to develop thousands and thousands of years ago, possibly even before the last ice age in China, but certainly since the last ice age, at least 10,000 years ago, which is a cosmology, a very simple cosmology involving the yin-yang model, and then immutable principles, simple principles, which if followed and take you into a balanced, grounded, centered state. And then they had developed all these different systems, training systems, to help you embody those principles. Tai Chi is probably the most famous of all of those.
Now, what about, there's lots and lots of different types of Tai Chi out there, and we'll come to that in a minute, but a lot of people seem to practice Tai Chi in a martial way and have absolutely no interest in Chi as such or spirituality. Do you need to believe in the Tao, or is it beneficial to? Does it help the practice, or is there no need for that at all?
There's no need to believe anything at all, and it's not about dogma. There's no intellectual stretching required at all. It's just a focusing on various aspects of your body in movement. And if you believe in it or you don't believe in it, it doesn't really make any difference. It will still deliver the same experience. The significance that you attribute to that experience might vary depending on what your cosmology is. But I would assume most people who'd be listening to this webinar are fairly turned on to the Taoist idea because of, being interested in what I'm doing. So I think they kind of get it, that it's, I think they're open to that aspect. So I'd like them to be, and in my training is what I encourage people to be.
The way I see you teaching Tai Chi, it seems very easy and effortless compared to some of the rigid teaching that I see, that you have to wear a uniform, it's very, very structured, you go through numerous belts. Why is yours so different to that?
Well, I only insist that people cross-dress, basically. But other than that, no uniforms are required. Grading is paying lip service to the kind of Western need for hierarchy. It's not an Oriental tradition at all. In the old days with Tai Chi, it was like it was mostly guys doing it. So they used to think of it as the gentleman's art, because you didn't have to crassly establish your supremacy over another by which coloured belt you use. They considered that to be a bit like crude and barbaric almost. And you could tell as soon as you put your hand on someone, or even as you stand in front of them, whether they're superior or inferior to you in their development. And there isn't a competitive streak like there is in our Western culture, or in that kind of graded culture. It's like you just want everybody to get it. Anyone who's interested in it, you want to help them develop and flower to their full potential. It's not about looking clever or being the best in the group or anything like that. It's just helping everybody along. You want to improve yourself all the time doing it in the practice, but it's not at the expense of anyone else. And so there was never a grading system. And so you have to wear clothes. If you need to feel that you need to wear Chinese kung fu outfits to do Tai Chi properly, then wear them. But you don't have to. It's only a kind of an outward symbol, really, might help your mind get into the right frame. Personally, I tend not to. I just do it in whatever I'm wearing. And go on, yeah.
It's interesting, actually, that when you were mentioning before that you saw some guys with ponytails and they were doing Tai Chi and it seemed really cool to you, and yet it seems to me that the image isn't quite like that these days. Anything that we see in the media tends to be a group of old people in the UK doing it for fitness, or a group of elderly Chinese, similarly so. Do you think Tai Chi's fallen out of fashion?
I think it never was in fashion. I mean, that might be explained by the fact that I believe, in my humble opinion, that most people that work in the mainstream media are bloody idiots and they don't know what's going on. So they just pick the most obvious, stupid examples of things. But so that's nothing really to go by. Yes, Tai Chi has never been a fashionable thing, but it never really was meant to be. In the early days, when it wasn't known at all, it wasn't like anyone was trying to proselytise or convince people to do it. It would be too embarrassing to be like that, too crude. You'd want to, be discreet about it, because you're developing this incredible power. You don't want to kind of shout about it to people. And if anyone is drawn to it, you'll do everything you can to help them achieve their aim. But you wouldn't try and convince anyone. I mean, I never did try and convince anybody, hey, you've got to do Tai Chi, it's amazing. And it wasn't like that. It was actually, you kept it to yourself and people found out. And if they were sincere, you take them on as a student. That's kind of how I used to work in the old days. And it never really changed. I mean, even with the whole marketing craze and the ambitious sort of street people were giving into in the 80s and the 90s marketing Tai Chi, they never really took off like that then, because it's just not that kind of thing. Certain people are drawn to it. The ones that are drawn to it, beautiful, and the people involved will give them everything they possibly can to make it an amazing experience. But to try and draw people to it, never had that going for it. It's not easy to learn. It takes a commitment. It's much more complex to learn than yoga, for sure. And I talk as somebody who's been doing yoga for about 800 years, so it's like I can, compare.
It
was never fashionable.
That really is a good question then, isn't it? How does Tai Chi compare to yoga?
Well, Tai Chi comes from the Taoist yogic, sorry, the Taoist yogic system, and the Taoist. I say yoga. It's like the method of yoking yourself, because you know yoga comes from Sanskrit meaning yoking yourself to your great spirit, you know, the big presence inside of you, whence comes all your personal power, and being in an enlightened, transcendent state as you work, rest, and play. And Tai Chi is a version of that. It's a way of doing that. So it works on the same principles as yoga. Both reference the experience of being yourself to what's going on in your body. Both depend on adjusting and realigning your posture. Both rely on changing your breathing pattern. Both, at a higher level of yoga, at any rate, involve repositioning where your mind is thinking from psychospatially within your brain. And both develop an appreciation and sensitivity of what yogis call prana and the Tai Chiists call chi. They're like the actual tangible sensation of the Tao in motion, of the primal cause in motion. You tap it and then you can manipulate it for your own ends, which generally in Tai Chi are encouraged to be benign ones for everyone concerned. Because it is a very loving art. It really does has at its heart the intentions to ameliorate suffering for all humanity. It has quite a bit of Buddhist influence in it in that respect.
We had a question in about Kundalini awakening. Does Tai Chi relate to that at all?
Yeah, it will have the same effect as a Kundalini awakening, in that the energy is caused to break through the seals that stop it rising up the central channel in the spine. But the way the Tai Chi does it is it pumps it up there kind of like hydraulically almost, whereas the Kundalini yogic method is to kind of explode your way through the chakras, when I trained in it anyway. Very exciting and dramatic. The Tai Chi, not so exciting and dramatic, more gentle, softer, but in my experience maybe a longer lasting effect, a more gentle, more containable effect. There are many more reported incidents of psychosis and mania from Kundalini yoga practice than there are. I've never heard about one from Tai Chi personally. Not that I'm saying that Kundalini yoga is a bad thing. I think it's brilliant. I've done it myself, but that's the difference.
And what about two forms which are considered quite similar to Tai Chi, or does Tai Chi derive from them, or do they derive from Tai Chi? And I'm talking here about Kung Fu and also Qigong.
Qigong is not a martial art. So Qigong is basically the kind of different various groups of warm-up exercises used by different martial artists to prepare themselves for their actual martial arts practice originally. And then it developed from that recently into an art all of its own. And it doesn't have any martial application whatsoever. It's purely the internal work. It means working on your qi. And it's essential for any practice of martial art, hence why I've always included trainings in it. Kung Fu is the general name really for all of these arts. It's so Shaolin temple boxing, whether that came before Tai Chi, don't know. Nobody really knows, I don't think. Probably, but I don't really know.
Now, I know you said you've learned with several Tai Chi masters. You mentioned John Kells, and then there's the guy in Hong Kong.
Ben Lo, yeah.
Lots and lots of different ones. So did you learn one specific type of Tai Chi, or did you learn different types of Tai Chi and gravitate to the one that, interested you the most?
Well, I started learning this style, the Yang style, the original Yang style of Tai Chi, and which is the most popular and widely practiced around the world. In my opinion, the most sophisticated and the most beautiful. Out of curiosity, learned the Wu style, the Cheng style, and a little bit of the Sun style, which I loved intensely. But you somehow with the Tai Chi, you do one style. You can't really give yourself fully to sorry, I got an awful cough. To more than one. And eventually it just seemed quite obvious to drop the others and stick with the Yang style. Because I also have been all this while doing Xingyi and Bagua as well, which are also Taoist arts, boxing arts, older than Tai Chi. And they give me the combination of those three, plus White Crane, gives me all the different flavours and bits of information that I require for my training. So for me, it's the Yang style. I love the Yang style. The others are gorgeous. They're amazing and wonderful, especially Chen, which was the original. But somehow, something about the Yang style, it's just so complete and wonderful. I love it too much, in fact.
Okay, just a quick reminder, if you've got a burning question about Tai Chi, do please use the question box to ask it, and I can read it out for you to Stephen. And we have a question here from Mark, who says, how does the Yang form compare to the form taught by the Taoist Tai Chi Society here in Great Britain, originally taught by a Master Moy?
Mark, I'm sorry, I have never heard of the Tai Chi, whatever it is. If you're the Taoist something society, I've never heard of it, and I don't know what they do.
Okay, well that was a short answer to that one then. Okay. I want to ask again, going back to the fact that Tai Chi's never particularly taken off like yoga seemed to have done, and the fact that there is this perception perhaps that it's done, you know, it's for old people. Is it relevant to all your ages today?
Gosh, yeah, of course. As you know, the problem with all that is that the young people have got completely turned off anything to do with mind, body, spirit, self-development, because the marketplace got flooded with a bunch of squares that made it look like, God, I don't want to be like them. I don't care what they're teaching. And that's why young people aren't into it. It looks naff and they don't want to be around it. I don't want to be around it. I totally relate to that. You know, that used to be a really young audience, but it got like, you know, all fluffy and silly. So they're not into it, but they will be again. You know, I teach young people. I'm coaching a few young people in Tai Chi. They love that stuff if it's taught properly. No, there's the demand there, but also young people are very, very busy. You know, they're very busy in their screens, and their life is moving in a different pace for them. So they're not interested in introspection at this point in time. They're more interested in mortgages and making money, and the right brands and all the rest of it. But it will change again. It will change again. People will start to value the power of this stuff, I'm sure.
Okay, I suppose now is a good time to ask you about the benefits of Tai Chi, which I'm sure are many and various. Could you talk us through a few of those, Stephen?
Well, the slow flowing motion helps you slow down in general. Slowing down is probably one of the most important things you can learn to do, especially when extraordinarily busy with huge amounts of stuff to do. The more you slow down, the better you do everything. Actually, it ends up the quicker you get everything done. Tai Chi is a really great way of training the body and mind to function at a more satisfying and effective pace. That's one of the aspects. Another is that regardless of the fact that at the early stages of learning, you're not working with the martial applications, the power of the movements themselves, when practiced properly, when they have to be taught properly, which is something I do take extraordinary pains to do in this training, incidentally. When they're practiced properly, they do instill the kind of protective force field around you, which isn't bullshit. You do actually feel it. It might take 6 months of practice to start really getting it. Quite often you can feel it almost immediately. And when you have that sense of confidence about you, it enables you to feel safe, to be affable and companionable with everybody that you encounter, because you don't fear people in the same way as you used to. It enables you to be more loving, embracive, nurturing to everyone around you, and therefore your transactions with the world bear much better fruit, and are certainly a lot more enjoyable. You end up going through the day having a really great time, whatever you're doing. It does have that effect. On a physical level, I mean, I'm never going to be able to remember every benefit that I feel from this stuff, but on a physical level, you have suppleness of the joints, you get rid of your aches and pains, you have physical strength in your muscles in a really lovely, soft, flowing way. It benefits your cardiovascular system, respiratory system, blood pressure. Your kidneys are really well massaged through the circular movement. What else does it do? All of that kind of stuff. It's really good for your body, in other words. One of the things that's great about it is that if you started a really much more strenuous form of exercise as a young person, which is the natural kind of inclination of young people to do, you can't generally keep it up forever. It gets to a point when you get to 50, 60 or whatever, where you're not really into it anymore because there's too much wear and tear on the system. With Tai Chi, you get better at it as you get older, and there's no effort involved in doing it. You sort of slide into it soft and easy, and it becomes a, excuse me, it doesn't sound like it, becomes a really good health insurance policy for as you get older. It does keep you really young and nimble, youthful and nimble, and quite agile, not only physically but mentally as well, which is the important thing. It seems to give you command of your emotions in a way that I've never seen anything else do. If you're interested in what I might call the psychedelic experience of life, in other words, being able to attain the sort of transcendence that you'd associate with enlightened masters, Tai Chi affords you that. That's why it's called the Supreme Ultimate. And I have tried all sorts of psychedelic drugs myself over the years, and I've done peyote sessions with Native Americans when I was living there, mescaline sessions, and all the stuff that really kind of ayahuasca and everything else. Truly, every single time I've ever done one of those experiences, always come out the other end of it going, yeah, but Tai Chi's better than this. And it's the same kind of vibe. It gives you that same sort of subtly hallucinogenic, in touch with nature and the natural forces experience, but it's totally containable, and it doesn't make you want to vomit or have weird thoughts or anything. It makes you feel incredibly positive. So if I'm pissed off or down, I've lost confidence, or I'm feeling, like whatever, not in a great space, and I get up and do 5 minutes only of the Tai Chi form, at the end of it, I feel positive again. I feel cheerful. But no, I don't have to talk to myself. I don't have to go, right, come on, get yourself back to... None of that. You just do the form, and at the end of it, you notice, well, I feel better now. That's better. I keep going. If you've got to go out late at night and you're a bit tired and really would rather go to sleep, like playing the clubs in Ibiza and stuff, there was a lot of that went on. Do the Tai Chi form for, a few minutes, and then you've got your energy. You keep going all night. It's really quite remarkable like that. It gives you healing power because it develops Qi. The Qi, the energy moving between your hands and all around you, not only useful for self-defense, not only useful for manifesting the things that you want because you intend something, you ram it full of energy, but also for healing yourself and healing other people. It genuinely develops power in the hands that you lay on people and they feel it. You make people better with it. Lots of benefits. That's only just a few.
We've actually got a question about that, Qi. How do the Tai Chi movements move energy?
I don't really know. I've never really asked that question to myself. I haven't really got a clue. I think it's to do with the circular motion and the balancing from one leg to the other, moving from one leg to the other, shifting the weight. The way you hold your posture causes the energy to flow internally around the body at optimal levels. And there's something to do with the posture of the arms that seems to conduct like a golden ball of energy. You just feel it between your hands, and it just grows stronger and stronger. And it's, like I said, it's a meditative state. Most clearly felt when you're doing it with someone, when you're pushing someone around, you're having a little scrap, a play scrap, for practicing or whatever. But you both close your eyes and you just follow where the energy goes, and it's remarkable. It takes you on a journey and does stuff for you. Yeah.
So
I was just getting lost in it there in my
a lot of people have said their experience of Tai Chi has been that it does seem to take a long time for it to feel natural because you're trying to remember all the different postures and you're also trying to think about the internal aspects of it. Why is that the case, and is that natural?
Well, you're downloading a huge, huge, huge packet of data, and it's multi-dimensional and multi-level. And for the mind, the intelligence, which is all, unlimited in everybody, to grok that whole thing and put it and place it in the right positions inside your consciousness does take time. There's no question about it. It's an investment, and you've got to be really wanting to do it. You tend to know right from the beginning if it feels right, it's worth pursuing. One of the reasons people do give up Tai Chi is that the teacher isn't resonating for them and is not actually delivering that packet of information as clearly and freely as it needs to be delivered, and people get dispirited by that. They're just not getting the right instruction. But I think you find when it's taught properly, meticulously, without being pedantic, and the system is really clearly defined, which I'm not selling, I'm just saying I'm proud of it, like it is in this training. you get the effect really quickly. And the way I teach it, because I always found it so hard, I had to do it for myself, makes it a lot easier to get the whole thing quickly.
We'll come on to the training in just a short while, but we've got a great question here from Aaron. What's your mind doing while you're doing the form?
Good question, Alan. Most of the time, or most of your mind rather, is focusing. Well, this depends on as you get used to it. I'm saying for me now, after 40 odd years of practice, the ideal, what we're aspiring to, is that the mind is mostly occupied with feeling your spine, feeling your presence back inside your body, being aware of what's going on in your belly, softening it, keeping your chest soft, keeping your posture aligned, moving in a grounded way, not moving from impatience, but moving from power, moving from the center, and so on and so forth. The rest of the mind is going, for me anyway, oh yeah, I remember later I'm going to do, oh, it's going to be really nice when I do blah, blah, blah. You know, the usual crap that we all think about, basically. But what the Tai Chi does is it turns the noise of that general chit-chat down to almost the bare minimum.
Now, I've got on the screen at the moment a couple of slides which explain about the different benefits of Tai Chi, and Sandra's picked up on one of these, and she says she's keen to know how Tai Chi can promote magnetic attraction and wealth.
Well, when your Qi is flowing really strongly, you become like a magnetic coil. You know, like, I'm not aware of it in myself because it's my natural milieu, but one of the things people often say to me is, wow, you've got so much charisma. And I don't feel the effect of that because I'm inside me, but I think I know that that is something that comes from the Tai Chi. It comes from having that energy moving really strongly through my body, around my body, feeling relaxed, relatively relaxed and safe in the world, therefore loving and open to everybody and loving the adventure of the whole thing. That exudes a very powerful energy and a very happy energy, and that energy is a magnet, and it attracts energy that's vibrating at a similar frequency. And if your intention or need, more to the point, is to magnetize the financial wherewithal to you, or anything else for that matter, the ability to do so seems to increase quite dramatically when the energy inside is flowing really strongly. I don't know if that really explains it or if it just sounds like a lot of waffle, but that's kind of how it feels to me.
We've got another good question here. How do you actually know when your practice of Tai Chi is effective? Do you get a feeling, or do you just know?
Yeah. It's like, how do you know when you're really enjoying making love with somebody? You just know, don't you? It's the same with the Tai Chi, because when you're doing Tai Chi, it's like you're making love with the Tao. It really feels like that. When you're in that space, you feel it. It just feels beautiful in your body. You feel this incredible flow. And your usual human self quite often is going, wow, look at me doing this. Wow, look at that. Wow, how did that happen? And it's really quite remarkable. There's this, like, it's as if some ancient presence takes over inside your body, like one of the ancient Tai Chi masters who perfected the immortal spirit body, and jumps into your body when he can feel you doing the form. Sort of spots it through time and space, and suddenly takes over. And it feels like you've been taken over by this ancient master. The moves are just incredible. You feel the energy, and you just know. And it doesn't happen every time. Some days you're too busy thinking, just going through the motions. But anyway, just by doing it each day, you just practice it each day, you just get better and better and better. That's what happens. You just know. You feel it. You feel it.
Now, you've been doing Tai Chi almost all your life, but for those of us who haven't and who are maybe starting from scratch, can you just talk to us about why your Tai Chi workout, Tai Chi training and Tai Chi short farm, that's a new one, short farm, why that is such an easy and fast way to master the moves and really get the form?
Well, the Tai Chi workout is the set of Qigong maneuvers that you do to prepare yourself for doing really great Tai Chi. It balances you up, it teaches you balance, it strengthens you in the right way, it loosens you up, it prepares you for the kind of movements you're going to have to be required to make in Tai Chi. The revolutionary Tai Chi training, which preceded this one, was actually using the Xing Yi training technique for Tai Chi, which for some bizarre reason no one ever in history has ever thought to do. But it's a way of teaching each separate Tai Chi posture as you would learn karate moves. So you repeat the posture, left, right, left, right, left, right. You just keep repeating it till it becomes natural. Then the next stage is to put all that together in the short form, which is what this training is all about. So saying traditionally, you would just start by teaching the short form. So you can learn the whole thing really adequately and perfectly from doing the Tai Chi short form training. It's also greatly advantageous if you take on board the workout to prepare for it. And if you go through the Tai Chi revolutionary training where you're going through posture by posture, it will speed up the process of learning the short form probably by at least double.
Okay, now we've got some questions coming in, so I'm just going to fire those at you, Stephen, before we go into a bit more detail about the new training. Malkit's saying, I'm attending a Tai Chi class once a week, and he teaches Yang style, although the movements are the same, it is a little different. Does that make any difference if I can make it my own, whether I am doing your style or the style of the class I'm attending?
Well, you mean like the nuance, my flavour as opposed to his flavour. No, it doesn't. You just have to be careful to translate. The same sequence of movements. The way I do it comes from the originator of the Yang form, Yang Cheng Fu, who was tall for a Chinese guy and big. And he used to bear down on his opponents who were generally shorter than him. So developed a sort of slightly sloping forwards back. The Chen Manqing style, which developed last century from a master called Chen Manqing. He was a little guy, and he used to have to lean back quite a lot, and he wasn't physically very strong, so his whole thing relied on great softness and wit. And the style that he progenerated is generally more well known these days because it's slightly less strenuous to learn. But it doesn't really matter. It's flavours. It's the same style, but different flavours.
Now,
I prefer mine, that's all.
Okay.
I've done the other as well, but I like this better. It's more manly, but it's not really great for you, Market, is it?
Now, we've got a great question here. Can you, the training that we're talking about is video-based, both the revolutionary Tai Chi training and the Tai Chi short form. Now, basically, there are lots of videos, all hosted on the School for Warriors website, and you work your way through them, watching the videos and imagining that you are there in a one-to-one class with Stephen. So it very much is about breaking it down for you, step by step, watching the videos, practicing yourself as you watch the videos, turning off the video and really making it your own, just repeating it and repeating it whenever you've got some time to do that. But the question here is, can you learn Tai Chi on your own if there's no one there to correct the moves because you're not, in a physical class with you?
Yes, you can. This training is shot so meticulously from 5 different cameras simultaneously and brilliantly edited, so you get split screens where required, and the directions that you're meant to face are really meticulously pointed out with a compass on the floor and various other visual devices. And the explanation verbally is really clear and succinct and takes all of these things into account. I was very cleverly directed through the whole process by somebody who was extraordinarily pedantic and meticulous, so it was exacting and it came out really, really, really well. You can't fail to learn it from this. It's really probably better than being in a class because you wouldn't be able to get to see what the teacher is doing from every angle at the same time in a class, whereas with this you can see perfectly clearly what to do, and the chances of not getting it would be pretty slim, I'd say.
So this particular training that Stephen's talking about now is the actual Tai Chi Yang style short form. So there are not only the actual lessons in the short form itself, but there's some background information, there's information about the benefits of Tai Chi, the principles of Tai Chi. Then there are different ways that you can follow along, because as well as Stephen's showing you the form, there is also a what they call a backwards view. So it almost is like he is in front of you if you've got it on your TV or your computer, and you're watching him lead the moves and show you the form with his back to you. Now there's also a version of the full form the whole way through with commentary, and then there's also a video of Stephen doing the form in silence, and we will have the audio itself up there on its own as well, so that you can turn off the video and just have the audio taking you through the moves. So we have sorry, I'll just go back to the 3 steps again, just to be absolutely clear, because there are 3 different things here. We're offering this new Tai Chi short form, which, as I say, is a series of videos so that you learn how to put the form together. That is also supported by a documentary which was filmed in Wales. Stephen, you want to say a little bit about that, the Tai Chi camp that you did in Wales?
Yeah, that was working with Mike Shorey, who's a filmmaker, and we were doing a whole loads of filming at the time, just to see what would happen. And we decided that we'd do a proper filming of the Tai Chi camps that I used to hold up in Pembrokeshire, overlooking the Irish Sea, where you get 30, 40 people come along for a weekend. And I teach them the whole short form in a weekend by using hypnotherapy to suggest that they'd had no barriers to learning it all. And truly, by the end of it all, most of the people actually could do the short form from beginning to end. But none of them, or maybe one of them, for all the camps I did, actually took heed of my warning. If you don't practice this whole thing tonight about 3 times on your own, you'll lose it all. So most of them lost it all. But it was good fun, because in one weekend, everybody got to experience what it felt like being a Tai Chi master. It was quite remarkable. And the interactions between everybody and the little interviews with me, with the people involved, was so well done. And it is a piece of art, and really nicely, beautifully shot and put together a film that gives you the spirit of Tai Chi in a lovely way. It's just a nice 1-hour film to sit and watch it. It's inspiring if you're learning the form, because the studio training is a studio training, lit very bright, like clearly, so you can see everything going on. I mean, I must admit, I don't like the way I look in it at all, but that's totally irrelevant. But it's very functional. It really does the job. Whereas the other one, the film, is like, okay, so out of the training, you have the beautiful inspiration of what it's like doing it in nature, and loads of people doing it together. Quite good, because you get to see all the different people and how they move and how they get better and better through the weekend. And that gives you encouragement, because you realise that, we're all total klutzes when it comes to starting things, and we all need to learn. And as we learn, we get better and better, and it's beautiful to watch that process. It inspires.
What amused me as well was at the end of the documentary, there's a full thunderstorm and everybody's doing Tai Chi, getting absolutely drenched out in the field, and that's a nice contrast to the actual Tai Chi revolutionary training, which was filmed in the bright sunshine of Ibiza, and that, as Stephen explained earlier, takes you through the individual moves and postures. Now we've got a couple of questions coming in that apposite to bring up now. And Sandra's saying, is there an audio of the hypnosis that we can learn simply and easily? And I know that the visualization you give people is part of that documentary, and we'll have a chat, shall we, Stephen? It might be worth doing that as a separate audio.
Yes, it could be. It is on the film, isn't it? What I was doing.
It is on the film, yes. I can't remember all the ins and outs as to whether it's the full way through. That's why I was being a bit guarded on answering that one for you, Sandra. But I'll check it out and let you know. Yeah. So Anne is saying, if we already have the Tai Chi warm-up and the Tai Chi revolutionary Tai Chi training, where the individual movements are repeated, do we only need the Tai Chi short form part of this? The short answer to which, Annie, is yes. Anything you want to add to that, Stephen?
Yeah, I just want to add yes.
Okay. And here's one from Marina, who's a School for Warriors student, and says, I've been doing School for Warriors 1 and 2 exercises regularly. How does this relate?
Oh, good question. Well, early on in my career, in my zest to share the fruits of this magnificent exploration, it occurred to me, through being a Tai Chi teacher for my job in America, that the majority of people did not really have the inclination to give themselves over long term to the study of it, but they all did want to have the thing it gives you. So I devoted myself to extracting the inner game of Tai Chi and presenting it in a way that would be a complete training in itself, as in sort of really internal Tai Chi, the state you get to from practicing Tai Chi a lot. And it was experimental at the beginning, like when I wrote Handbook for the Urban Warrior. I didn't really know if people were going to be able to use that and get the real benefit from it, but the feedback over the last couple of decades or whatever has been quite clear that it does actually work. So if you then combine that with the Tai Chi, you've got it. That's like you're learning the esoteric aspects of Tai Chi, which normally you don't know for 20, 30 years or whatever of practice, and the Tai Chi itself quite early on. It's something very, very, very few teachers know or teach what goes on internally when you're doing the movement. So when you've got School for Warriors 1 and 2 and the Tai Chi, there is the complete picture. Great way to do it.
Okay.
It's a fantasy of mine come true.
So we better let everybody know about those trainings then. 3 distinct trainings. Some of you will have done one or more of them. To others this may be completely new to you. So I'll just take you through what they are again. So the Tai Chi workout is a warm-up, and as Stephen said, it is Qigong exercises, Stephen.
Yes.
And
yes.
this is a...
Tai Chi Qigong. So it's Qigong related specifically to Tai Chi training.
Okay, and it's an 18-minute workout that Stephen uses himself. The Tai Chi training is the specific moves that make up the short form. So it's the different moves, the different postures that make up the Tai Chi short form. And then the third training, the Tai Chi short form itself, joins those moves together in the Yang style short form. So if you've already done the Tai Chi training, yes, you will only need the short form. And I believe there's a long form as well, Stephen, am I right?
Yeah, there is. And that will come later.
Okay, so what we're doing, because there's a lot of people who are members of Barefoot Dr. Global, and those tend to be the people who really do want to learn all this stuff from Stephen, and so we have got some very special prices for Barefoot Dr. Global members. Now, if you're not a member, the prices that you will pay are $127 for the Tai Chi training, and $247 for the short form. Now, if you buy either of those, we are throwing in the Tai Chi workout as a free bonus for you. And if you decide to get both the training and the short form together, you can save yourself, I think it's about $47, and get that for $327. And in order to do that, you need to go to the link that you can see on the bottom of the slide, which is barefootdrglobal.com/Supreme Ultimate. Now, if you are already a member of Barefoot Dr. Global, or indeed if you fancy joining the website, you can avail yourself of some special discounts. So the members' prices for the training, that's the moves, the postures, rather than the short form. The Tai Chi training is $97 for members, and the short form is $197. Again, you get the workout thrown in, and you pay $247 for both of them. Now, it might be a good idea if I translate some of those prices into British pounds for those of you in the UK. So for members, the price is $97, which is £63-ish, obviously, depending on the exchange rate. The short form is about £127, and if you buy both together, it's $160. For the non-members, you pay £82 for the training, that's the moves and postures, $160 for the short form, or if you want to save yourself the $47 and get them both together, it's £211. Just need to say another note for members. The way to access your discount is that if you go to barefootdrglobal.com/Supreme Ultimate and scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see some pink boxes. The pink boxes are for members and the blue boxes are for non-members. If you click on the pink box, if you're a member, it will take you to a page where you can log in. So just log in using your existing username and password. That's your username and password for Barefoot Dr. Global, and you will be able to access the members homepage there, and it's really clear at the top of the members homepage, and you can choose either the Tai Chi training on its own, the Tai Chi short form on its own, or both of them, the Tai Chi training and short form together, and the discount, that will take you through the discount order form. So that's for members, but members and non-members alike, I hope you'll give it a go. The training itself is delivered on the School for Warriors website, which means if you're already a member, if you've done the School for Warriors training itself, or you've done the first part of the Tai Chi revolutionary training, you will be able to use your existing username and password for that. So it should automatically, I'm saying it should automatically because you can never tell with technology, but yes, you should be able to just use your existing username and password. So if you're interested in either of those trainings, the Tai Chi training, the revolutionary Tai Chi training to take you through each of the moves and the postures, or the Tai Chi short form, you will get the Tai Chi workout thrown in, so you can practice the warm out yourself for free. And obviously if you want to buy the training and the short form together, you do save some money there. So Stephen, anything else you would like to add about this?
Yes. I love Tai Chi, I love you. Why don't you two get together and it could be really beautiful? I'm talking to everybody.
Okay, fantastic. We've got another great question in here just before we go from Aaron, who says, what does Chi feel like?
It feels like velvet. It feels like kind of invisible liquid velvet running between your hands and all around your body, like a carpet of beautiful protection that softens your connection with the world around you. It makes it all feel just really warm and just nice on your body. You feel pleasurably connected to the environment around you with Chi.
Annie's saying that Chi feels like being caressed on the inside.
You saucy thing, Annie.
And she also said, the guys with ponytails that we were talking about earlier are old now, but I bet they're mature and cool like you.
That's really kind of you to say. I'm not actually that mature.
And Mary says, hi Doc, she just wants to say love and sunshine.
Love and sunshine, Mary.
Okay, well, let me just talk you through once more those prices and where to go to find out more about the Tai Chi training we've been talking about tonight. Again, there's two parts of this training, and you can either buy them separately or you can buy them together and save yourself a little bit of money. So for the non-members, the moves, the Tai Chi training is $127, or that's about £82. The short form is $247, which is about £160, or get them both together for $327, which is about $211. For members, that price is $97 for the training, for the postures and moves, $197 for the short form, that's $63 and $127 in Great British Pounds, or 160 Great British Pounds, $247 together. Oh, and after all that maths, all I can say is do go to barefootdrglobal.com/Supreme Ultimate and have a look, and do join us on the Tai Chi training or the Tai Chi short form, or both, and we look forward to you being a member there. So I'd just like to say thank you, Stephen, for sharing your wisdom as ever. Are there any last words from you?
Let us go then, you and I, like a patient... No, let us go then, you and I, while the stars are spread out against the sky, like a patient etherized upon a table. Let us go through certain half-deserted streets, the muttering retreats of restless nights in one-night cheap hotels, and sawdust restaurants with oyster shells, That's T.S. Eliot, by the way. No, that's not anything else to say. That was really lovely, though. Thank you. I'd love you to do it, everybody. It's a beautiful thing to do. I mean, you know, if you don't, everything will be fine. But it's a beautiful training, and it would be lovely to have you join me in the virtual world doing the Tai Chi together.
Okay, that's it and that's that, as you would say. So thanks everybody for being here. barefootdrglobal.com/supreme-ultimate, and we'll see you in the Tai Chi training. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Thanks for doing it. Thanks, Sue.
Thanks, bye.